Hey there, Jets fans. Well, just a couple days now before the Jets travel up to Buffalo for their Week 14 game against the Bills, and obviously over the last handful of weeks here, the Jets defense has been struggling. That's been a consistent theme now, kind of throughout the season, but especially over the last handful of games, the last handful of losses. And one of the big culprits has been the run defense over the past few weeks. Last week, it was Marcus Mariota torching them for a couple long passes in the fourth quarter, but one of the underrated weaknesses of this defense right now is honestly a weakness that's been around for a while, and that's the pass rush. I mean, last year this pass rush generated 28 sacks. That ranked 28th in the NFL, and this season they got off to a pretty good start. I mean, they had 14 sacks through 5 games, but now here through 12 games, they sit with 25 sacks. They're 26th in the league in that category, and unless they go completely ice cold down the stretch these last 4 games, they should surpass last year's 28 sacks. But 25 is at this point is still nothing to write home about. They have 11 sacks over the last 7 games, and 7 of those 11 have come in 2 games. I mean, they had 3 this past week against the Titans. They had 4 against the Dolphins in Week 9. Over those 7 games, they've been shut out twice. They didn't get a single sack against the Colts or the Patriots. And really, the question is kind of what happened to their hot start, and basically it boils down to this. I mean, guys like Henry Anderson, who had 2.5 sacks over the first 4 weeks, he hasn't had a sack since. Leonard Williams, he had 3 sacks over the first 5 weeks, 2 in Week 4 and 1 in Week 5. He hasn't had a sack since. Brandon Copeland, he's got 3 sacks on the year, but he hasn't had one since Week 8. Basically, everyone across the Jets' defensive front has gone ice cold on the sack front. At this point, it's just guys picking up the odd sack here or there. There's no dominant pass rusher on this team, and we've known that for a while. It's not any big surprise, but it is clearly biting the Jets right now and making the defense's life a lot harder. If you can't get the quarterback on the ground, you can't put the other team behind the sticks, everything from there becomes a lot more difficult. And that's something the Jets really need to work on down the stretch over these last 4 games, and especially going into 2019 when they're looking at this team's needs. Pass rush is clearly a problem, something they need to address going forward into 2019 and beyond.